scathing. Kornheiser was always pretty great, and he'd often show why he was arguably the best sports writer in America. I have no shame in admitting I stole his editor's notes running joke where he'd ghostwrite humorous passages to mockingly refute or correct one of his own statements. In both the sports and style sections of the paper, local TV, and then on to ESPN's The Sports Reporters, and his radio show and podcast, Kornheiser has been a massive influence. Some of those Kornheiser columns are available in the books Bald as I Want to Be and I'm Back for More Cash, and they're always worth going back and revisiting, as is so much of that great Washington Post coverage. There were plenty of ways and plenty of time for the Post to figure out a way to streamline the departments without losing its dignity, credibility, or even more subscribers. But they chose the opposite. They chose the axe, and now everyone is lost. I'm Mike Sempervive with the Sports Byline Broadcasting Network 2-Minute Warning.
Have you been daydreaming about losing weight for years? Do you just yo-yo back and forth? At Innovative Wellness Center, we have a holistic weight loss program that allows you to lose up to 20 pounds in 30 days. People are losing weight like crazy and keeping it off. It can be done from anywhere in the United States. Go to our website at www.innovativewellness.center and schedule your complimentary consultation today.
Getting together with friends to watch the game? Then you'll need American Premium Vodka. Handcrafted and pure, this is the one thing all Americans can agree on. Founder Mark Gus Scott chose the finest natural elements America has to offer, and you'll taste how great it is to be an American. Now available at Bevmo, GoPuff, Hy-Vee, and Fairway stores. American Premium Vodka. This is the America we need right now. Go to AmericanPremiumVodka.com. Celebrate responsibly.
Let's be honest. Most businesses don't struggle because demand is low. They struggle because their back end can't handle growth. Leads come in, but follow-up is slow. Calls get missed. Appointments don't get confirmed. And everything lives in different places. So even when marketing works, revenue doesn't scale. That's a systems problem. Create Assistance fixes this by building a done-for-you CRM and automation system that captures every lead, follows up automatically, confirms appointments, and keeps everything organized in one place. And only after that foundation is built, AI voice and chat employees get added on. If your business feels chaotic behind the scenes, it's time to fix the back end. Visit createassistance.ai and book your call today. Or you can call or text 515-500-2224. Again, that's 515-500-2224. We look forward to hearing from you.
It was the Roman poet Virgil who said, "Easy is the descent to hell. All night long, all day, the doors of dark Hades stand open. But to retrace the path, to come out again to the sweet air of heaven, there is the task, there is the burden. If I cannot move heaven, I will raise hell." We'll talk about that later, but now it's time for Rick Tittle and Titillating Sports on Sports Byline USA. All right, thank you for that, and welcome to a hump day edition of Titillating Sports with Rick Tittle. I am your humble host, coming to you from the Sports Byline USA broadcast studios here downtown San Francisco, Broadway. They say the neon lights are bright. Also streaming on YouTube TV and Twitch.tv, at least for an hour. I got to vacate and give the studio to somebody more important at 10 a.m. And then I'm going to go by the other side of the glass and sit with Dominic Jimenez and do the show from there. Hey, man, whatever it takes to get a check, man. What color? Green. That's the color we're looking for here. We have some guests. We will speak to... Remember, we'll get back to... When we were at the Super Bowl, we were just talking sports. We got to get back to the to the writers and the the filmmakers. We'll have a filmmaker coming up at 9:25. We'll also have a writer and an illustrator at 9:40. We'll have another writer at 10:12. We'll have a mountaineer whose name is Jim Morrison. When the music's over, put out the light, turn out the light. No, different Lizard King. I'll have to ask him if there's any relation. That's actually a pretty common name. Also, J.D. Sharp scheduled appeared, and then Kenji Tagama, executive producer of Films of Remembrance Festival, in the third hour. And in between all that, we can try to get in some football, basketball, baseball, hockey, soccer, golf, tennis, auto racing, boxing, Olympics, quidditch, volleyball, chess, checkers, rugby, cricket. And we put the emphasis on Olympics there as those are going on. And Ashley Farquharson, who came on a few weeks ago, talk about being in the luge. She medaled. She got a bronze. Tittle magic. Come on back.
It's impossible to have a bad day when you started with Chick-fil-A.
Hi, I'm Miles.
And this is Grant.
And the little thing we love about the Chick-fil-A chicken biscuit is
how that fluffy, crispy goodness wakes us up in the morning. The chicken is crispy, the biscuit is soft, it's iconic.
Throw some jelly on it, you can throw some honey on it. It helps me kick off the day.
The hash browns are great. And I really like the shape of them too. Little circles of crispy goodness. Yeah, those early morning chicken biscuits are just great, man.
Mornings are a little bit brighter with the Chick-fil-A chicken biscuit and Simply Orange Juice. Available on the Chick-fil-A app. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
If you're serious about investing in gold or silver, Allegiance Gold will give you an additional $5,000 in free gold to add to your portfolio. They can help you buy any amount of gold or silver, even roll over your current IRA into gold. They've helped thousands invest millions in gold over the years, with prices that are some of the best in the industry, with fees that are fair, reasonable, and transparent. Protect your wealth with gold. Save on your gold or silver pricing when you buy from the top-rated Allegiance Gold. Invest in gold or silver today by calling Allegiance for your free gold guide. And learn about the $5,000 free gold offer with qualified purchase. Call now.
800-413-1937. 800-413-1937. 800-413-1937. That's 800-413-1937.
It's more than a rebellion. When your teen is slipping into drugs or alcohol, when social media and pornography consume their time and their mind, when depression and even suicidal thoughts cast a shadow over your home, as a parent, you feel powerless. There is hope. At Turnabout Ranch, troubled teens step away from the chaos and into a clarity of nature on a working cattle ranch. Care for horses, responsibility, build trust, and rediscover purpose. It isn't theory, it's real work, real therapy, real healing. Families from across the country have found transformation right here, just when they thought hope was gone. If your teen is struggling with addiction, harmful online behaviors, even weight management, call right now and get the help you all need.
800-219-2494. 800-219-2494. 800-219-2494. That's 800-219-2494.
Pizza's here. Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Titillating Sports with Rick Tittle. Rick Tittle is a genius. The best show ever. He's so wonderful. Genius. The best show ever. He's so wonderful. Titillating Sports with Rick Tittle. Rick Tittle he's so handsome. He's a genius.
You're now listening to the Rick Tittle Show. Good for you.
Thank you for that, and welcome back to the show. 1-800-878-PLAY. Well, I guess it's time to start thinking about pitchers and catchers who, many of them are already down there. and I don't want to spend too much time on this because, as I said, it's early days, but you start going through some of the rotations. Dominic, I'm going to start off, if you're ready, for, I think, a pretty good trivia question.
I'm ready.
All right. I struggled with this one, and I ended up only getting 2 out of 4. So, Justin Verlander is going to, I guess, retire as a Tiger. He is going back. And in 2014, he was part of a 5-man rotation that had either won a Cy or were going to win a Cy. All 5 guys in 2014. Who were the other 4? That's a good one.
2014.
Yeah.
I got to nail down what team he was on in 2014.
It's Tigers.
Oh, it was with the Tigers.
Yeah, we're talking Detroit Tigers.
Okay, well, him and Max Scherzer, those are the 2 easy ones.
Okay, right. So 3 more. I only got 1 more.
Oh, man, who? Doug Fister never won one.
Right. Fister.
Yeah,
fairly
team
newer.
was the, no, it was, hold on, it was Rangers, and then 2014 was the, was not the Giants World Series. Who else was in the Tigers rotation besides Scherzer? And oh man, the worst part is I can see him, and he won somewhat recently. I'm not gonna pull it, and it's gonna bother me that I don't have it.
All right, it will bother you. Robbie Ray.
That's who it was.
Because he's on the Giants.
Yeah.
The other 2, the only one, I didn't get Robbie Ray. I got David Price. The one, and I forgot he won a Cy, Rick Porcello.
That's who I was thinking of when I
Okay.
said Doug Fister. I knew it wasn't Doug Fister, but it was somebody like that who, and I think Porcello's won in the last 5 years.
There you go. I like that one. That was pretty good. 1-800-878-PLAY.
And just really quick,
Yeah.
Giants won the 2014 World Series, and the dirty, stinking Tigers with 5 Cy Young winners didn't.
Swept, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, Tigers didn't even make the World Series in 14.
Oh, I'm sorry. What was that?
2012.
2012, sorry. Yeah, 2012. The Giants swept them.
Really quick, if you don't mind, during that World Series, backer to the head, and it's got what happened afterwards is one of my all-time favorite sports moments. The audio came out, and the doctor comes up to him on the mound like, "Hey, Doug, are you good?" "Yeah, I'm good." They check for a concussion. "Where are you right now?" "What's your name?" "Doug Fister." "What are you doing?" "I'm pitching in the effing World Series. I'm fine. Give me the ball." I think he was fine.
That's pretty good. All right. I had some friends who went to that World Series, and they said in Detroit when the Giants clinched that they'd been to basically Antarctica and they'd never been more cold in their life. They said that last night game, which is around, I don't know, I guess it was after Halloween, before Halloween. I guess it was before Halloween because it was sweet. But anyway, starting off with a little trivia. All right, yesterday for me as a Raider fan, there was a lot of circumstance around the fact that the Raiders have invested in a new head coach, Clint Kubiak, giving him a 5-year deal. And I think if you're a Raider fan that's been watching as long as I am, you have one eyebrow raised. And, there's a lot of hope. And you never want to judge by its cover because some guys, they seem like leaders, like Jack Del Rio. He had that former player, a little glint in his baby blues, and he would beat you up if he felt like it. He was commanded respect. He had been an NFL head coach before, and you just felt like the guys will follow him. Then you have guys like Dennis Allen, where it's like, this guy's a pencil pusher, but he's so bright, and he has no personality, but he's exactly what the Raiders need, and neither of those guys worked out. That one good year with Del Rio, the rest stunk. The inmates running the asylum thing about players could do whatever they wanted. They could get into fights if they felt like it, and Del Rio wouldn't do anything. So Clint Kubiak, on the surface, is a complete dud and not a Mac. But, you know, as I said, we've had both types. He's more the Dennis Allen type, right? And I remember Dennis Allen came out with his blonde wife and his little kids, and they held Raider helmets, and I was out there in Alameda for all that. And it's very cute. And I was out there for John Gruden, who has the personality of, bombastic, and he was going to, like, tap dance for you. And Mark brought out everybody. Everybody was there that day. Every old Raider you could think of. Coach Flores and Jim Plunkett, and then there's the Woodsons of the world. They were all there. And I got to talk to them that day as well. And so winning and losing press conferences doesn't mean anything. The biggest victory I've ever seen in a press conference, ever, was a guy named, I can't remember his last name now, not Yamamoto. The A's signed him as an infielder, Hiro, and he never got above the Texas League. He never got above Double-A. And I remember seeing him in spring training, and he came into a game late, and he was wearing number 76 with no name on the back, and somebody else was number 76 with their name on the back. I'm like, he can't even get his own number?
Nakajima.
Thank you. Ryuki Nakajima, superhero. And he came out, and I went to that one at the Coliseum. I want to do the Bernie lean. Oh, my gosh. Billy Bean is sexy. Oh, my gosh. Do you know what that means? Hell yeah. Speaking of English, I think Billy Bean is sexy. I want to do the Bernie lean. Let's go. Green and gold. Let's go. Oakland. It's like, oh, my gosh. Never got above Texas League. So, but the biggest quote unquote leader of a press conference, Amari Cooper. Hey, Amari, how are you? Fine. What do you think about the team? Great. And I remember Henry Woodford said, Amari, you don't like these press conferences, do you? And he went, no. He's like, I don't mean to be rude. I just want to play football. Basically, I don't care because I don't want to get fined. Not even stone-faced, but almost like a scowl. Like, is this over yet? But it wasn't like it's over yet so I can go home and cry. It was, is this over yet so I can put on a helmet and strap on my pads and go out there and hit somebody and score a touchdown? So now the whole thing is, and we'll talk about it later, but the whole thing about, he's got to talk to Max Crosby. Like I said, we want him to be a part of our success going forward, and there's no doubt about that. He's one of the best players in the NFL. That's a no-brainer. To get to work with Max and see him continue to have success with this organization. Jay Glazer all Super Bowl week. Yeah, Max Crosby's done. And then Max Crosby was like, all y'all effers don't know me. Everything you say is complete BS. So I think with Max, he's pissed off. He got shut down for 2 games, as he should. He's pissed off. I've never seen him say, I'd like to get out of Dodge. I haven't seen him say that yet. But anyway, if you're excited about Kubiak, I'm with you. If you're dreading Kubiak, I'm not with you either. I have no opinion, but I'll give him my support for whatever that's worth. I hope he makes it. But this is just the 59th guy of all different shapes and sizes and types that we've had out here. Out there. Come on back.
Like the legend of the Phoenix, all ends with beginnings. What keeps the planet spinning? The force from the beginning.
Are you over the age of 50? Want peace of mind and financial security for your family? Here's an important message to you from Senior Care USA. The average funeral now costs over $10,000. That leaves your loved ones the burden of paying your debts and funeral costs. Our plan starts as $1 per day and will pay your family up to $30,000 to help pay for your funeral and other expenses. conditions. There are no medical exams. Your rates will never increase, and your plan cannot be canceled, regardless of your medical conditions, as long as you make your premium payments. Get up to $30,000 in final expense insurance. Call now for free information. Just answer a few simple questions and get approved right over the phone in just a few minutes. Call right now.
Call 800-399-6879. 800-399-6879. 800-399-6879. That's 800-399-6879.
Hey, vacation lovers, it's finally time to use all those random facts you learned on TikTok for something that actually matters. It's the Radio Trivia Challenge from thevacationbuddies.com. All right, here's how it works. Be one of the first 10 callers right now, and you'll score a complimentary 3-day, 2-night getaway from the Vacation Buddies. You'll stay at none other than Westgate Resorts in your choice of Vegas, Orlando, Myrtle Beach, or Branson. You ready? According to travel stats, which of these 3 cities is the most visited vacation destination in the U.S.? A, Las Vegas, B, Orlando, C, New York City. First timers get the trip. So stop scrolling and start dialing. And let's see if TikTok actually taught you anything.
Be one of the first 10 callers. Call Vacation Buddies right now. 800-340-1834. 800-340-1834. 800-340-1834. That's 800-340-1834. Packages start at $29.99 a month with signed agreement. Restrictions apply. Speak to a representative for complete offer details. See Vivint.com for license details. Terms and conditions apply.
Homeowners, if you're looking for the best in home security and smart home technology at a price you can actually afford, we have great news. Now you can get Vivint's award-winning home security systems starting at about $1 a day. U.S. News and World Report has recognized Vivint as the best professionally installed home security system of 2022. And right now, you can get Vivint's home security technology for about $1 a day. Plus, get free professional installation from a licensed technician. Protect your home and loved ones for as low as $1 a day. Call right now for your free home security consultation.
800-918-6189. 800-918-6189. 800-918-6189. That's 800-918-6189.
I'm not insightful enough to be a movie critic. Maybe I could be a food critic. These muffins taste bad. Or an art critic. That painting is bad.
So disgusted by Rick Tittle that I find him very intoxicating.
Thank you for that, and welcome back to the show. Tittle with you coast to coast and around the world on the American Forces Radio Network. It's our pleasure to welcome to the show award-winning filmmaker Louis Hindman. He has a brand new short film called Majid Zahar, which has been getting so much attention and accolades as well. It has already won at the British Independent Film Awards. It has earned a BAFTA nomination. It has secured a high-profile official selection at the BFI London Film Festival, at the Clermont-Ferrand International Film Festival as well. Louis, welcome to the show. And this all takes place at a Pakistani takeaway. Is that right?
Correct, yeah. Well, first of all, thanks for having me. Great to be here chatting to you. Yeah, so it's all in a British Pakistani takeaway, which is, we're sort of, the team that made it, we're all sort of London-based, based around the UK, and these British Asian takeaways are quite a pivotal part of the UK culture. They're these sort of takeaway establishments which are so rooted in like international culture, whether that be Pakistani or Indian, but they wouldn't exist anywhere else but the UK. So we really wanted to make a film that dealt with this like highly specific space, which is both equally British specific as it is Pakistani or South Asian.
I've spent a lot of time over there, and I love the doner kebab. I love the the chippy, and then you can go for an Indian, right? And I won't say what they call Chinese food. You can't say that. We know what we're saying. And then, of course, the word Paki is a very racist term to people, especially as they say over there, Asian descendant. But yet it's amazing to me how much, whilst not overt xenophobia that goes on, that people still do use that term. Is that come part of it as well?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say as someone's British Asian myself, as well as my co-writer being confronted with that term, is just is a part of.
We lost him. Maybe it's because I said the word. I hope not. You can't. I can't tell you what they call Chinese food, and the thing is that sometimes you need to take a backseat a little bit, because when you hear these things and you realize that they don't come from horrific places, but with, especially not just my American, California, but Bay Area sensibilities, that when someone says, "Do you know any Red Indians?" and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, no one has said that since 1920." And then they're like, "No, I don't mean anything bad at all." Lewis, we lost you there. Did your car went through a tunnel on the M25?
It might just be dodgy UK signal.
Are you using Orange?
I'm on a dodgy network signal. So we have a 3, which is causes issues, especially in central London. But as I was saying, that term's like a kind of thing you're confronted with growing up in the UK as being British Asian, and then kind of gets repurposed as you get older within the culture as a taking ownership over it. So that was something we put into the dialogue too, to show that inner world almost, and camaraderie between kind of fellow young British Asian guys.
And then, of course, being Desi, and then you're it's just like in Hounslow or wherever there's a predominance of Asian, Indian, Pakistani, and those kids growing up, they've never been to India or Pakistan. They have, they don't want to go there. They're English, and so for you, I know you're South Asian and also an Ulsterman as well, right? So
that's an important thing you mentioned about kids who grow up here, a lot because of the South Asian diaspora. You do have a lot of British Asian kids who, have never actually been to their countries of origin, because of what led these families to the UK in the first place. Means a lot of our heritage or families aren't even in Pakistan or India anymore still.
All right, so Majid Zafar, could you tell us about the name and the plot, please?
Yeah, so the film takes place within a British Pakistani takeaway, and sort of deals with fractured friendship between two young British Asian guys, one called Majid and one called Zafar, and kind of through the setting of a propulsive, stressful takeaway and all the British Asian culture that comes with that, we see how these two childhood friends try to confront and navigate around a sort of secret shared history between them.
So I was interested when a filmmaker starts off, they say, I'm going to make a 17-minute film, because I think mostly in the back of your mind you probably think, well, I got to get to 90 minutes, make it a feature. Or do you start making it and you think, actually 22 minutes is just right? Or what was the plan with a short film like this?
Yeah, so we knew we wanted to make a short film, and kind of prior to this, myself and Mara had been kind of writing other ideas, maybe were previous steps for long films, and it was maybe condensing an idea from a 90-minute movie into 15 minutes. But what we wanted to do with this one is we kind of set out to make something which could only be a short film. We wanted to construct something from the beginning which was only ever meant to be a short film, and that sort of led us to the the framework of the film, which was like, okay, it's going to be one location and it's going to be primarily about two characters, and at least at script stage, it's mostly going to just be told through dialogue. So from the beginning, that intention to create something that was exclusively for a short format just gave us a lot of the immediate building blocks right away.
What would be now you, as I said, all this attention you're getting, and you had made films before, but now, I mean, do new scripts arrive to you, or do you think, no, I have to, as with this film, I have to write it myself? And I mean, because on the one hand, you want to keep your own independence, but on the other hand, I'm sure there are some nice offers as well. How do you kind of walk that line?
Yeah, it's a bit of everything, but the sort of the through line for me is making sure that I'm writing it or someone else is writing it, or if it's being co-written, that no matter what, it still feels my voice, still feels personal in the filmmaking. So yeah, like in some of the kind of feature-length projects I'm working on now, one of them is just written by me and others co-written, and then another one's written by someone else. But sort of my personal involvement in all of those is quite equal. So yeah, it's finding if you're working with collaborators, it's finding collaborators who are able to bring out more of your sort of personal point of view on cinema, as opposed to dampen that. It's about sort of increasing the level of creativity.
I think about Pakistani takeaway, like kebabs and biryas and kormas and things, and so I just wonder, what part of London are you in, and what's your Pakistani takeaway place?
So I'm a little outside of London. I'm basically, don't know how specific this is. I'm like after Paddington and kind of after Hayes and Harlington, after towards Reading, which is either going to be very specific or not specific at all, depending on.
Well, if you're towards Reading, that's Berkshire, so you're towards Warwick Castle. Windsor Castle.
Exactly. Yeah. That's sort of where I sort of grew up. Basically, kind of suburban, but connected to London. And then in terms of takeaway, I mean, there's a lot of local. I think being within sort of the mix of London more nowadays. A big one to shout out, which actually did. It wasn't what we filmed, but they made the food for the film. Is a restaurant called Ava in St Albans. Yeah, a little outside London.
I love St Albans. Yeah, I spent a lot of time in right there in Hertfordshire, and the Verulamium ruins right there in St Albans as well.
Yeah.
Great area. All right, everyone, check out the BAFTA-winning, BAFTA-nominated short, Majid Zafar. It is breaking out of British cinema, and Lewis Hindman is the man who has made this. Lewis, thanks for coming on, man, and let's catch up on your next one. Cheers.
Great, thanks so much. Great to be here.
All right, good stuff. Yeah, St. Albans is a beautiful little place, and it used to be a Roman city called Verulamium, and if you go right outside St. Albans, then there's there's a museum there, and there's walls, and I remember talking to my friend. I'm like, is this all lost on you, how cool this is? And she was like, yeah, I don't even notice it anymore. I get it. All right, we'll take a quick break. We'll come on back. And what will we talk about? I've never said this before. Rumpelstiltskin. Not kidding.
Welcome to guided meditation. Close your eyes. You're at the beach. The seagulls are calling. You take out your iPhone 16e you got from Cricket and use Apple Intelligence to clean up that selfie you just took. It's a good one. You send it to your friend instantly. It's a reliable nationwide 5G. They're totally jealous. Get iPhone 16e for $49.99 when you switch. Smile, you're on Cricket.
Required line on the Supreme Unlimited plan. First service charge and tax due at sale. $25 activation fee. Terms and restrictions apply. Cricket 5G is not available everywhere. See store for details.
Have you suffered betting losses? It's a fight for you to see you get back what you have lost to those sports betting companies. Michael Watts is a prolific trial lawyer with over $11 billion in total recoveries for his clients. Now with sportsbettingclaim.com, he'd like to help you. Michael has a leader in some of the largest and most complex cases in the country, from defective cars and tires to damaging drugs and medical products. He has always represented the rights of individuals harmed by large corporations. His efforts recently resulted in the recovery of billions for individuals who lost properties to fires carelessly caused by electric companies and others. Michael knows that sports betting companies preyed on and manipulated consumers into losing their life savings, and he wants to make them pay. If you have suffered financial hardship as a result of online sports betting and would like help seeking compensation, please submit your claim information for evaluation at sportsbettingclaim.com. Michael Watts is focused on winning for you. sportsbettingclaim.com.
Keep listening for details on how to get up to $300 airline credit. Sky Holidays introduces a one-of-a-kind air credit program. Our buying team got a little too aggressive in getting hotel and air deals, so now we have to liquidate our prices. Here's how. Whether you want to go to Paris, Las Vegas, London, Atlanta, Hawaii, or anywhere else in the world, we have amazing deals. Book a selected hotel and we'll give you up to $300 airline credit. Now you can book your vacation and get a free credit to use towards airline travel. We'll book both, airline and hotel, with one simple phone call. We have access to most airlines and deals on thousands and thousands of places to stay. Call right now, book your hotel rooms, claim your airline credit. You can change or modify it at any time. 800-256-4816. 800-256-4816. That's 800-256-4816.
Kohl's gets it. Valentine's Day comes with expectations. Grand expectations, telepathic expectations, and heart-shaped everything expectations. Yes, even waffles. Kohl's has gifts that rise to the occasion. From romantic to playful, sparkly to sweet, or all of the above. Plus, get 15% off some of your finds. So go ahead, exceed those Valentine's Day expectations with Kohl's. Select styles, offer ends February 16th. Some exclusions apply. See store or kohls.com for details.
What would you say you do here?
Well, look, I already told you. I deal with the customers so the engineers don't have to. I have people skills. I am good at dealing with people. Can't you understand it? What the hell is wrong with you people?
I'm wearing the pajamas. Hot potato.
Rick Tittle will fight anyone listening to this.
Thank you for that. Welcome back to the show. Rick Tittle with you, coast to coast and around the world on the American Forces Radio Network. There's a brand new, awesome children's book called Rumpelstiltskin. You might have heard of it, but it's being retold in a new way and in a very visually beautiful way as well. And joining us right now is the writer Mac Bennett and the illustrator Carson Ellis. Let's start with you, Carson, because when someone says, yeah, we're going to be drawing Rumpelstiltskin, I would think, because sometimes you think, oh, that's a dead end, but this to me sounds like, oh, wow, there are a million ways I can imagine this. This must have been a mouth-watering project for you.
Yeah, I would say so. I read the manuscript and I thought it was really beautiful, Mac's retelling of it, and funny and serious, somber, scary. Like it had all these moods, and I felt like it was so well told. So I was excited about the story, even though I knew it, because every time you retell it, it's a little bit different, and also retelling it for a new generation of kids that maybe don't know the story is exciting. And I was really excited to be able to make all these kind of classical, medieval-feeling illustrations for it.
Mac Bennett is with us, and Mac, obviously, maybe it's not obvious. From my generation, we know that Rumpelstiltskin wasn't a great protagonist, but maybe people hear the name and they don't know who he is in literature. Is that kind of like one of the reasons, like let's retell this, let's do it again for a new generation?
I think it's like he's such a charismatic villain. It is so wild, right? Like the story is named after the bad guy, and that does not happen a ton, especially in children's books. So yeah, that's definitely a big piece of the fun. And when we've been reading this story out loud to kids, you're right. Like, some kids know it, some kids don't. But when we're done, all the kids want to talk about is Rumpelstiltskin and what his deal is. And I think he is such a mysterious figure, right? Like, he can spin straw into gold. He has this name that nobody knows. He loves bets. He's a little bit of a gambling guy. And so they just want to talk about him, and which is great because, like, Carson and I, even after working on this book for years, we just want to talk about him too.
Yeah.
Well, the art, Carson, is, I said, it's very haunting. The way it looks sort of like a muted painting, every one. This was, painstaking, but yet so vibrant. Was that kind of the tone you were going for?
I think so. I did want it to look painstaking because I think I was inspired by some Renaissance painting that is so beautiful and laborious and technically skilled, and I'm not a Renaissance painter. I don't know how to do that stuff, but I sort of wanted to recall it and also to just put my version of that amount of work into illustrations, if that makes sense. Yeah, and I was just trying to do something that felt classic, the kind of art that I feel like we often associate with fairy tales and folk tales.
Now, of course, this is a Brothers Grimm story, and Mac, I spent a lot of time in Germany. I have relatives there, and I remember I had a discussion about Brothers Grimm, and they were like, tell me if you have these in America that are Brothers Grimm story. I'm like, go ahead, like Cinderella, yes. Frog Prince, yes. Hansel and Gretel, yes. Little Red Riding Hood, yes. Rapunzel, yes. Rumpelstiltskin, yes. Sleeping Beauty, yes. Snow White, yes. Town Musicians of Bremen. I'm like, we don't have that one. So,
we totally do. We do. It's a little bit of a deep cut, but Carson and I like that one. All the animals get on each other's back and make a monster.
Yeah. And you know who retold that story when we were kids was Richard Scarry.
Yeah.
Who made, like, Busy Town and Cars and Trucks and Things That Go and stuff.
I used to love
But no, the Grimm stuff is fantastic. I was like a huge fairy tale kid, and it is incredible. All those original Grimm stories, before they were written down by the Brothers Grimm, they were told out loud. We don't really know how long these stories existed before the Grimms put them in a book, but we do know that there is this long-standing tradition of uncles and grandmothers and babysitters and a nurse would just tell you this story, and that's what feels fun. I mean, we kind of plugged ourselves into this centuries-old tradition of working and reworking this story, and I will say, you can feel the energy of that.
There's also...
I could feel it. I don't know if you could feel it, Rick. I could feel the energy, I would say. I don't know if you could feel the energy.
I feel the energy.
Absolutely.
I feel it.
But I have seen these books, maybe you have too, there was something about teaching kids a lesson, and there was another one that, I don't think it was Brothers Grimm, but it was from the 20s, and it was this book about all the things that would get you if you, one guy was called Der Schneider, and he would come cut your fingers off if you didn't eat your soup. I mean, there's just all sorts of things they were scaring German kids into the forest with.
Yeah. Peter is a big one of that is just terrifying kids. That's right. Yeah, this one, we think about this a lot because I think Carson and I both just, in all of our work that we do for kids, we're not really interested in writing stories with a moral, in teaching a lesson. We don't really want to tell kids what to think or what to do when we write a book for them. We're parents. Sometimes we have to tell kids what to do. But when we're making stories, we just want to tell them a great story. And I think Rumpelstiltskin is one of those. There's not a clear moral here. There's not a lesson learned. We're not trying to teach kids to behave. It's just a really funny, exciting, sometimes scary, sometimes sad tale for the ages,
Yeah, and it's like a revenge tale. And it's full of villains. It has 3 villains and 1 poor girl who's kind of the victim of all of them.
So, Mac, you mentioned something interesting about when something was written down because the Pied Piper of Hameln, or we would say Hamelin, That, I mean, Goethe mentioned him, that this was a story from the 1200s. So maybe some of this was lore, and the Brothers Grimm was like, let's get this on paper.
Yeah, that's right. We actually know who told them this story. It was their neighbor, a girl, Fortune Wild. And actually, like years later, one of the Brothers Grimm married her. So, yeah, what an auspicious beginning to their relationship, this tale of an evil baby stealer.
Yeah.
Wow.
Romantic. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. Happy Valentine's
When you say baby stealer, you don't even have to say evil. I mean, it's just built in, right?
Oh, you make a good point, Rick.
So,
I can't think of any, like, kindly baby stealers.
I would probably think that there are rappers named Rumpelstiltskin. I would think probably in different cultures he's known as all different types of names, especially throughout European cultures as well. Have you seen that as well, about just how he like takes on a sort of a different name and persona depending on the culture?
You know, it's funny. There are like these, like you say, there's sort of like existing in lore. There are these very early tales that kind of feel like Rumpelstiltskin with a character who's maybe demanding his name be guessed. But this, you know, it's so interesting that this very hard name to say, and you know, your German family, when they hear me say Rumpelstiltskin, they are rolling their eyes because that is not how they say this name. But I really, like, I think the reason we still know it and it's solidified, it's the perfect name for him. Like, and this is kind of what I mean with this accumulated wisdom of all these storytellers. I'm sure over the centuries they tried out different names. This one does have this ring to it. It's the perfect thing. It's like long. It sounds kind of real, but kind of made up. It's got to be a name nobody would ever think of, but that you would believe this little guy could have. That was the job of the writer here. And some writer a few hundred years ago settled on Rumpelstiltskin, and we just haven't second-guessed that person.
Also,
We do
go ahead.
have talked to a lot of grown-ups about Rumpelstiltskin, too. We talked to a lot of kids who've never heard the story before, which is neat. And then we talked to a lot of grown-ups who remember it from childhood and are traumatized by it. And so many grown-ups have brought up fairy tale theater with Shelley Duvall. It seems to be kind of, for my age group anyway, this like universally traumatizing version of Rumpelstiltskin. I haven't gone back to revisit it, but I'd like to see what was so scary about it.
Well, a lot of people think he's an elf, he's a demon, he's a leprechaun, or he's just a guy. Like, how would you describe him, Mac? Is he a supernatural being, or is he just a little evil?
I think he's supernatural because he can spin that straw into gold.
Okay.
So he's got some magic there. But what his deal is exactly, we don't know, and I didn't want to put my thumb on the scale for any of this. So, yeah, I do think that it is interesting that so often there are lots of stories. Is he an elf? Is he an imp? Is he a demon? Is he a magician? That is part of why this story has lived for so long, because it's a satisfying story, but there are these mysteries and ambiguities to discuss, and adults love talking about it, and so do kids.
Just finally, Carson, two of my favorite drawings, one of them where, you know, you must spin this into gold, and you see the high ceilings and the little stool. It just makes it seem like an impossible task. I love the way that looks. And then I also can't stop staring at the scene in front of the fire, the tapestry with the deer and the rabbits and the moon outside. It's just so warm and inviting. Like each page, you don't know what you're going to get.
Yeah.
You chose my favorite two of Carson's illustrations, too.
Great stuff. All right, everyone, pick this up. Rumpelstiltskin from Orchard Books from Mac Bennett and Carson Ellis, my guests. Congrats, you two, and thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Sure. Yeah, let's do a segment on Rumpelstiltskin. Why not? Let's switch it up. Come on back on Sports Byline USA.
I am an American veteran. I'm proud to have served this country. Helping veterans is something all Americans can participate in, and it's as simple as donating an old car that you have sitting around. When you call the Veteran Car Donation Program, they'll explain how their program works, and then arrange a time they can come and pick up your vehicle for free. Running or not, it doesn't matter. They take cars, trucks, motorcycles, or vans. Show your support by donating your car and get a tax deduction in the process. Call the Veteran Car Donation Program right now. They'll come and pick your car up for free, and you'll get a tax deduction in the process. Call the number we're about to give you right now. Thank you, and God bless America.
800-887-1097. 800-887-1097. 800-887-1097. That's 800-887-1097. Hey, airline travelers, let's say you have a problem and you need to change or cancel an existing airline reservation. What do? Well, Skywatch is a free service that can help anyone with any airline reservation fix it. Whether you want to cancel it, change your dates, or add passengers, we can help fix your airline reservations so you get exactly what you need. We've updated our computer database and now have access to every airline around the globe. So now you can make one phone call regardless of who booked your airline tickets, and we'll change it, cancel it, and fix it for you. We know the insider secrets to fixing reservations that the airlines don't want you to know about. So if you need to cancel, change, or modify an existing airline reservation, call Skywatch right now. It's a free call, so let us fix it for you. 855-325-5647. 855-325-5647. 855-325-5647. That's 855-325-5647.
I've got a question for you. Do you want a lower car payment just by making a phone call? You know, most people buy a car and they pay whatever the car dealer says their interest rate is, and they forget about it and make payments. But did you know there is a secret in your contract that allows another company to refinance any car payment to try and lower it? It's true. There is indeed a company out there that knows the ins and, more importantly, the outs on car loans, and they know how to lower your current car payments. It's easy and fast, and you could have a lower car payment next month. Make this free call right now and find out if you could lower your existing car payment. Call the Car Savings Hotline right now. The call is free.
Call now. 800-605-1680. 800-605-1680. 800-605-1680. That's 800-605-1680.
What you gonna do with all that junk inside my trunk? My hump, my lovely lady hump.
I don't even know what that means.
No one knows what it means. It's provocative.
No, it's not. It's
Gets
gross.
the people going.
Rick Tittle's got a black belt in keeping it real.
Thank you for that, and welcome back to the show. Getting ready to move over to the other side. You won't notice. It'll be flawless entertainment. So great. But Twitch.tv will stop at this point. My favorite soccer team, Tottenham Hotspur, has fired Thomas Frank, their manager, this morning. Tottenham yesterday sat just 3 points above the relegation zone with 12 games to go, even though they're fourth in the Champions League. Staying up is more important. And no team has been hit by injuries I mean, it's insane. They've got 15 guys out, and so they're playing children at many positions. But West Ham was going to beat Man United at the City of London Stadium, and I turned over to that game, and when Šeško scored that goal to tie, that gave Tottenham 2 extra points, almost doubled, so now they're 5 points above the zone. And somebody said, did you jump off the couch when that went in? And I'm so numb now at this point, just numb, that I said, it's not like I jumped off the couch. What it was more like was that really I had 10 tarantulas on me, and then somebody removed 9. So I still had 1 tarantula. If Raiders were a soccer team, they would have been relegated. They were the worst team. And that's why losing in American sports is no big deal. Try next year. Who cares? You lose in soccer, you're the worst team. You're out. You're kicked out. Get out. We don't want you. You suck. We only want teams. You suck. Leave. Yeah, it's scary. It really is. All right, 4 hours. Come on back for our Rumpelstiltskin.